Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm by myself for a sec, but that's okay. I completely lost track of time. For those of you who will watch this in the future. Goodness. Let's see if anybody wanders in with us. I guess we'll see. Takes a minute or two for them to get the notification when I go live. So I will take a moment to put on a little lipstick. Hi, Kendra. The one who reminded me, which explains me putting on lipstick. How are you, doll? We will definitely talk later. I'm having a little camera issue, so that'll be fixed before Wednesday. It'll be fixed tomorrow, but yeah. Hello, Anita. Yeah, Kendra, I don't know what I would have done. I was all caught up going down a Temu rabbit hole looking for something. And completely lost track of time. All of a sudden, my phone dings off. I missed a Snapchat of my granddaughter, too. She's doing a lot of with her voice today. So she's learning she has one and how to use it to express her emotions. But like I said, there's a little bit of camera kerfuffle, so I might bump my Mac cam a little bit. And if I do, I promise it is completely intentional. I just need it to stay where I need to stay now because it's way too high up. I think that will help. So we're going to be a little at an angle, and I'm going to try to face this way to work a little bit so that I'm not bumping it all the whole time. Let's make sure that works. And I know one of you asked me to give you a little poke when we get it. Hey, Rosanna, when I go live, but honestly, I wasn't quite sure who that was. I couldn't remember. This morning it's been kind of just a little bit of everything. So, but we're doing good. Started the day out right with Randy's live this morning and then with Rosanna's. So I'm enjoying being in the lineup. I'd love to know if everybody's liking the way that they're spaced out. I figure that you guys can go after Brandy to get some stuff done before Rosanna comes on, and then do the same when after Rosanna goes on, and then you have me. So there's a little break in between. So I'd be interested to know how all of you guys are dealing with that. But I'm going to take a lead from Rosanna, and I'm going to work on one of the pieces that I should have had done for the Bead Babes Beach Design Challenge. So I'm going to put together the one that I kind of laid out on the live last night. It's going to be a set though. It's like bracelets, earrings, and a necklace. So that's my little charm bracelet. I have a lot of it. I'm acting like you guys can see my mat. Hold on. Sorry about that. It's not the first time I've done this. So I have a lot of it put together ahead of time because anytime you're doing links, yeah, that's way too far away. You guys aren't going to see anything if I leave you there. This is a freaking some kind of little bite that won't heal. It's driving me nuts. Okay, so I have most of it done because otherwise a wire wrapped project is just a plethora of redundancy. So I have a lot of it put together. I don't know why I pulled that out, but it's in the dish. Because I don't want to make those for earrings with this set, because I want to make these. Because I don't know, you guys can't see me. Come on, Heather, get down. Where people next see? I don't know if that would look okay as earrings to have like the big starfish and then the little dangle. I think that's a bit much. So originally I was just gonna do these with one of the glass pearls, because I think I have enough of the opalite pink beads left that I can get one more piece out of it. I'm hoping so anyways, but I'll go ahead and explain what I did here. How do you find Rosanna? Rosanna is in Rose's garden and some numbers. If you type up in Rose's garden space jewelry making, she comes up right away. So yes. Oh, Carol, hello. You're hearing background voice. I don't understand. How are you hearing background? I'm the only one home. My dogs don't talk. It might be the fans. Kara, I'm glad you made it though. Love that. All right, glad you like them, Anita. Seems to be working well. There's Rosanna's. Rosanna, if you want to drop a direct link, feel free to do so. If you don't know who Randy is, she is the like owner of the channel Thunder Horse Descendant. She does a bead drop on Mondays, has various lives throughout the week. There's one every morning that she does called Morning Coffee, which is 7:00 my time, and I live in Arizona. But yeah, it's good. Okay, guys, this is driving me nuts. So while I'm not like on camera, I'm gonna take it off because it's driving me crazy. Okay, so in this bundle, the Malibu Dreams, this was bundle number 5 of their 10th anniversary sale. I've got to get this over a little bit, otherwise you guys aren't gonna be able to see anything. Okay, and in it they had 2 like this one, the little gold seashell on it, on a ball head pin as charms. And so I liked it, but was bummed because I did make a charm bracelet as part of the challenge and wanted to use one as a charm on it, but was like, oh, but there's only 2. So I went on Amazon and looked up metallic nail charms, and I got like this whole like little circle wheel that there was one that was gold and one that was silver. You guys cannot see. Is it as bright as it looks to me, or is it okay? I can turn it down a little bit if I need to, because to me it looks like this is just glowing and you can't see anything. But sometimes that's just the case based on my like lighting settings. I'm not sure. I'll give a minute to find out if I should turn it down a little bit. Anyways, while I'm waiting for you guys to answer, so I got this little wheel that's full of a bunch of silver ones, and I got one that was gold. I started the gluing process, started blistering up, and quickly asked my hubby to please do it for me, which he so lovingly did. Just one more reason why I appreciate him. Okay, it does need to be turned down a little bit. That's what I thought, God. Okay, Dorothy, are you Dot, or do you prefer to be called Dorothy? That's better. I think that looks a lot better, but I didn't necessarily wanna. Okay, so as I was saying, I didn't think there was enough, and now you guys can actually see this. But there was a whole bunch of different shapes and sizes, and so my loving husband went ahead and did a bunch more for me that I'm going to use in this necklace, as well as I want to do a bracelet and some earrings. If I can find my where is it? I just had them out. Let me see if I put them back in the gold box. My little, I prefer to use, yeah, I did put them back. I prefer to use the oval ones whenever I make a necklace. So I have these that I will use to connect the different pieces with. But first I'm going to show how I made these in case we have any beginners. So I just started by pulling out about a little, like 3 inches for each section, which was a lot more than was necessary. But then I just did a simple loop. See, this is going to drive me nuts. It is too low again. I promise, guys, this is getting fixed before. Why not? Before. Very shortly, I should say. Okay. So I just started off by doing a wrapped loop, take a piece of wire, bend it over into a 90-degree angle. Use the first step of the 6-step veil making pliers. I like to actually go into the angle itself with the step that I decide to use, up, over, and down. Rotate, facing the mat, and there we go. And then I'm just going to wrap this up real quick using my favorite pliers that I get from Randy. I have 2 pair now because I lose tools all the time. Okay, Heather, right there is where you need to be. And I am going ahead and doing 2 wraps rather than just my hybrid. There we go. I don't see my bent chain nose pliers. This would be much easier. How to find those. But I can't remember what I was saying. This is what, in case everybody was wondering, this is what a flare-up looks like of my Derkham's disease. All of my symptoms tend to get magnified, so then like my memory recall and speech issues get worse, and I lose track of what I was saying, that kind of stuff. Anyways, for the pearls, I just left them on their own because I didn't like a bead cap on them, and I didn't like any other like beads on the top or bottom. I just wanted to keep it really simple. I will show you a little technique that I do real quick. I've showed it on previous videos, so you might already be aware of it. Tuck in that roll. So if ever you get a loop in the shape of a D or any other shape that is not round, you can go in with some round nose pliers and wiggle back and forth, and you can get your loop back to a nice round circle. It also helps with centering the loop. Sometimes it's gonna make a liar out of me, but it just takes your loops back to the round shape. I know that I have an issue with that. I don't know if any of you do, but whenever I do my loops, my simple loops are always crooked. I don't know why. It's always the case because I don't like a buildup of wraps on my pieces, I generally do what I call my hybrid simple loop, which is just taking it around the back of the loop. This is actually 2 wraps, but by doing it at the back, that way it does make it more sturdy. My husband and I tested it out, which and trying to pull away the hybrid, which, like I said, is just a regular simple loop, and then but I wrap around the back of it as well, and it makes a very nice loop. And so that's what I like to do. Put the other. I don't know how many of these I'm actually going to need for this project, so I'm just going to put the rest of these on some wire real quick, and then I will show you. The opalite is also very simple. All I did was I didn't use the larger bead caps that came in the bundle. I don't like when bead caps are where the edges of it, like you can see a space there. I like my bead caps to kind of, I'll show you. So see how this lays nicely? If I put the 8mm one on, which I think I have one right here above my mat, or at least I did. Those are the 6. I know I had the 10 out because, or the 8, whatever size it was. And of course, now all I'm finding are 6mm. I wanted to show ya. Anyways, I'm liking the edges stick out and don't look like they fit on the bead properly. That's like one of my pet peeves with jewelry making. But yes, I am. Wait, hold on. There is another Dorothy and she uses Dot. Okay, sounds good. Hi, Carolyn. It's all right, Dawn. No one was here to ring you. My dog was sleeping on it. She's calling DoorDash. That's funny. All right. I'm going to show you how I did the other one. Also, you guys, if you're new to jewelry and the amount of tools overwhelm you, I will tell you that like these double flush cutters, memory wire cutters are also double flush cutters. So if you're someone who wants to use memory wire a lot, you have to have memory wire cutters for that, or you are just going to rack pair after pair after pair of cutters trying to go through them. So just as a little hack, those are also double flush cutters. You need a good pair of cutters. I would say the 6-step fail making plier. Oh, sorry, I hit that. Because then you get all the loops, consistency versus this, and then some really good pliers. And I got both sets of these from Beth. I also have Xuron pliers like this, but they are slippery. That's the only way I know how to say it. It tends, like when I go to hold on to it and go to wrap, like the wire will slip out faster than these don't do that. So I really like them. Like I said, I have several pairs of them because I'm someone who drops things. I just cut this wire way too short, but it's okay. We will make it work, as Tim Gunn on Project Runway always says. So, since I'm only doing 2 wraps, I should be okay. I say, and then firmly screw up my loop altogether. See what I mean, guys? Got the drops, all the things today. This part isn't like painful for anything else other than my pride when I'm trying to make jewelry, but I'm trying. Yeah, these might have to wait for another time. I can't do the shorter wires today. And instead of wasting the wire by trying to and then not succeeding and having to pull out more, this makes it easier. Again, I like to go right in the crevice instead of holding it at the 90-degree angle. I like to be inside that. I find that I don't have to center my loop nearly as much when I do it that way than when I try to, oh my gosh, what were you saying? Then when I'm holding a 90-degree angle. Also, I like to cut my ends off at the side of the loop, like right here, because that's where the rotation is starting. And so my bead caps tend to sit better when I do that than if I go around the back, because then you have an extra wrap that you need on one side. So then it doesn't sit the same. So not sure quite why, but that's just the way that I do it. See, I just needed some longer wire. There we go. I just needed to do this. I can use those pieces for a hybrid link. Again, I'm going to cut it off at the side of the wire. It also allows me to get up really close, and I don't need to, there's nothing for me to squish down at the end. I know you all know what I'm trying to say, but there's no like little jut out of the wire. Hello. Where did I thought I had some of these pulled out. I had one pulled out. So all I did was I'm taking the 6mm version of the filigree bead caps that were included in this bundle. They weren't as bad, but I like it to sit like this. It's just smooth. And for somebody that has like dexterity and like little things will hurt, so it's just easier to do it this way. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's see. She's sitting in the doctor's office waiting to be called back. I do not understand why it seems that we are constantly waiting for. So here's an example of it being up, the neck of the loop being up too high. Sorry, this isn't auto adjust, but it's up too high for me. So if I go down to where I like it, I'm going to have to reset my loop, because right now it's most definitely not a loop, nor is it centered because of the fact that it's not round. So you have to do it with round nose pliers though, otherwise you're not going to get the round shape, obviously. Okay, yes, that's fine. And then we'll do the last obli, and then we'll start connecting all of it. I'm going to do like I said, I'm going to do the starfish with these. Those are going to be my focals. So there are actually starfish in the nail art little palettes that I got. So there's a bunch of different shapes. Ooh, that was a Sarah Lovecraft kind of wrap. Speaking of, she's my guest for Beading Besties this Sunday, which is going to be so much fun. And then I am going to have Randy from Thunder Horse Descendants, and there's one other person who I cannot think of right now, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. They are both very interesting women, and so I'm very anxious to learn about their jewelry journey. I hope that it will be inspiring and informative and all of that for all of you. Now, for the I'm actually gonna redo it. I'm gonna show you what I did for this was a knotted head pin, because the hole in the bead itself was very large, but the space in which between these two is way too small to fit anything else right here. So I did a knotted head pin, and 22 gauge wire works best, 22 or 24, but 22 gauge works pretty well, but this is going to be on the bottom. So all you're going to do is cut off a section of wire. You're going to go, I like to go at the tippy end of my round nose pliers. That's why I love the black and gray handled Beadsmith, because they do have very small barrels. The only barrels I've seen that small are on the Xuron pliers, but they are not a solid metal. So if it's too heavy, they'll like crisscross themselves. And so like 24 gauge wire, I can do that all day on those. Anything above that, and I can't. So you're going to go to the very tippy end, but not where you can feel any wire when you run your fingers over it. And you're just going to twist. And then you're going to come back around. You're going to pass where the other started and keep going until you see the beginning of your spiral at the bottom. Then you're going to want to do this while you have this on, because it's just easier to make the bend when it is. You're going to make a bend. Go ahead and take it off your pliers. I'm fussy about my my knotted head loops. I like to mess with them and try to get them as neat looking as possible. The other tool that makes this exponentially easier is the nylon jaw pliers. So I'm just going to butt those right up against the knot, and I'm going to pull it down as tightly as I can. Then, like I said, I like to futz with it, because I like it to look more like a knot. I don't want, so I kind of switch it around a little bit until it's where I need it. Then I like poke it out just enough to get it, pull the wire, and then I straighten. I straightened that wire too. I apologize. And then I like that you get more of a knot, especially in this application. I do have to kind of tilt it back, but then you have it. It will go through this. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. And it will seat itself right up against that starfish, keeping it in place, because the ball head pins were too small. If I put the only ones that might have worked were my 3mm dark bronze ones, but I wouldn't want that right there. So, and then just like the other stuff, I'm just going to bend it over, and I'm going to make a wrapped loop. I just can't remember if I want this to go directly onto my pink bead. So I'm going to wait to finish that up until I get to a point where I know one way or another. And then we're just going to open our jump rings. Like I said, these are oval ones. And the first set don't matter as much, but I kind of want to, I don't know, do you guys think I should match up the pearls or just kind of pick them out haphazardly? Because that's another question that's been distracting me. It's like, okay, are you going to match up the pairs on both sides of the necklace, or are we just gonna do what we want to do? Oh, somebody's here. Oh, I'm live. Hello? I have no idea who's here right now. Enough. Enough. Ramsey. It's got to be my son. Yep, it's my son. Hello. Hi. All right, I'm live right now. Can you take them out? It's okay. Can you take them out, though?
Come on, dogs. Back.
Thank you. You can shut the door.
Love you.
Okay, love you too. I'll be done in a little bit. I wasn't planning on seeing him today. Ramsey, that's enough. Okay. The necklace. So what do you guys think? Ramsey, he's not in here anymore. Stop. Stop. Goodness. Okay. Nobody's letting me know. Should I keep them or not? I don't know which way to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect these ones. And then connect another pink one. And hopefully you guys will let me know what you think before it's time to add another bead. Because I honestly don't know which way I would like it better. I think that there are pluses to both. So I think one looks more organic, but then you're also going to have those people that it would drive crazy if they don't match up. Even those who, like boho. All right, I guess I'm on my own with this decision. Kendra must be back in the doctor's office finally. Goodness gracious. Like I said, I have the drops today and I'm not sure. There we go. Do I have anybody on here? I hope you guys are still seeing me, because I'm not seeing any comments or anything else that's coming along. I'm not quite sure why. I'm going to keep going and get this finished for those people who would be, the mat is very blurry. Oh, goodness gracious. It's because it's very far away and I don't have continuous autofocus with this camera. All right. All of this. It's very frustrating. We're not sure exactly what happened to my camera. If in taking it back and forth to Bernie's, if it just got jostled or what, because it went from a really good picture to not as good of a picture, and it was very blurry unless it was zoomed as far in as we could. So I was just asking if I should match up the pearls on each side of the necklace. So like if I have this one, do we want to have that one directly across so that there's some continuity, or do we just have fun with it? Right now, like I said, I think both have their place, but so I'll just go ahead and do it the same on both. It's okay, Rosanna. You're here. The math's blurry. Yes, you're doing some chores. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and match it up for now. I think this one needs to go the other way. Sorry, guys. This really bugs me because I finally had like this issue solved and it's rearing its head again. So it's like frustrating that we finally had it all figured out and then it just went right back to the shot being blurry. Okay, no, you need to stay. Okay, there's that one. I also don't know if I'm gonna, I typically do something other than beads around the back of the neck of my necklaces because I do have nerve issues. So the beads being on my neck is very, like, it's uncomfortable for me. So, and these are also spinning. Okay. So I just haven't decided if I want to do leather or if I want to do chain. So if you have a personal preference about how we do that, that it would be greatly appreciated. This is why I like the lives. I like being able to get it. Hi, Cindy. Because they're blurry. I know, Cindy. It happened with, yeah. Okay. That's the bottom. So this is the top. Come up here. And put the starfish on. I apologize about the focus issues, guys. So we'll just finish this up. And I probably just won't have a live at this time tomorrow because the other camera is coming tomorrow. But I don't know at what time. It's the exact same camera. I'm just doing a replacement of said camera because thankfully I was still within like the refund period of time that Amazon offers. So I was very excited to see that because I was literally 2 days. So if this would have happened, say, this Friday, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have just had to pay for a whole new camera. So I did add the like protection plan for it. All right. I think that's going to be long enough for one side. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill in the other side. Oh, I've got to have a shell as the last one. So let's do this one real quick. And if it seems too long, then we can always take the top one off real quick. That'll make it easiest. Okay. Did everybody have a good weekend? I hope you guys all had a good weekend. We didn't do much. We just basically hung out with each other around the house. Got some more stuff done in here. Steven repaired the wall and painted the parts where the paint had been pulled off by tape that's advertised to not have that issue. And it wasn't like a one-time thing. It happened, as you guys saw, like 4 or 5 times on the wall. So, okay, so starfish, then it's the long one. The long bead, this one right here. Close that up. Luckily, I did not pick a difficult technique, so that's good because nobody was gonna see that if that was not the case. Uh-oh, did I put this one on upside down? I did indeed put this one on upside down. Here we go. Another pink bead. Did anybody else get this? This bundle? If so, what have you done with it? And if you have, where are the pictures posted? Because I still have quite a few of my beads left. So it makes it easy. After that, it's just the regular starfish. There's actually 2 different kinds. There's a clam one, which are those, and then there's the other one that looks kind of the same, but isn't. This one right here. It's just got a wider fan of shells. I'm sure Miss Cindy West, would be able to tell what the other one is because she is a collector of shells. She has some beautiful shells in her collection. Okay, so yes, this side go right there. It might just be 2 different species of clams. I don't know. She can't see them because it's blurry. If she was even able to stay in, but now, girl, I do know what you made. Hi, Dot. So that Dorothy, you go by Dot, right? No, there's another Dot. How many Dorothys do we have, my dears? Because we have Inerty, Dorothy Stacker, we have Dorothy Pruden. Holy cow, Jenny. Pink Lemonade Series providing. Okay, cool. Where did you post it? Just on your page, or did you do it in the Beading Basties? Dot. You go by Dot. Okay. So you must be the one we thought earlier. I'm just doing a quick necklace. I had an issue with my camera and they are sending out a new one because I was barely in the return window, but thankfully I was. So they're just sending out a new one and then I'll be back at it, ready to go. And what we decided is that once I get my new phone, because it's finally being released, then the new Google phone is being released this month on the 10th. So I will be upgrading because Becky, Jenny's sister, also has a Google phone. She has the Google 9. And so she says it works beautifully. That's the only thing she uses when she records. So I'm excited to be able to use that for either when I'm home or when I'm not home. We haven't exactly figured that part out. Do one more of the necklace. And then this part is done. We can create the little Y using one of these little pearls, or not the pearls. We're going to connect these to one of the pink beads, and then we will connect the starfish at the bottom of that. And then I'm just trying to decide if I want to put chain on it or not. And I just realized that I did this. I don't know that there is the upside down or not, but that looked upside down to me. And I did it like that on both sides, so I will have to go fix the other. Yeah, that just looks better. Okay. This is what happens when I design. I go back and forth about the same thing until it looks just right for me. Becky has a series of 3 questions she asks herself whenever she finds a quote-unquote mistake. I know that is it noticeable? Can I live with it? And I can never remember what the third one is. But she has 3 questions that she's asked herself whenever she has that happen with her. Okay, I think that I should be able to just use one oval and combine both of the sides, but I don't know if that's actually going to be the case. And then put this on, and then attach this. Get ready and close it up. I got the click that we all look to hear. No, that's way too close. Okay, so instead, I'm going to go make one of the pinks with a larger hole. So that way. That's always an acceptable reason to not be here. As a new grandmother or Gigi, that is always a good reason. I'm actually going to go ahead and go to the 3rd step just to make sure that I have enough room. So I just, like I said, I just went down to the 3rd step so that I have plenty of room to attach either side of the chain to itself. but for some reason it went funky when I tried to wrap it. So this one has a bigger barrel than my other ones. Yeah, it does. Okay. Trim, and then we will try again. I'm sure this will be just fine. It will be much better. They can both attach with their own jump ring rather than fighting for space within the same. So I have a question for each of you guys. Are you the beater that has to keep when making wrapped loops, have to keep them tight so the bead doesn't move? Or are you okay if there's a little bit of movement? I find that I am both, but at different occasions. So for some, I'm very much a stickler for. Other ones, I'm not. It just depends on the piece of jewelry itself. Much better. Okay. Then we're just going to go ahead and put our 6mm bead cap. Or do I want to go ahead and... No, I don't want to do a pearl. I was thinking maybe I'd stack it, but I'm not going to do that. Grab some more opalite. Ooh, I got my finger, I think. I don't know if I did or not. Either that or that was my lip cream. One or the other. I think it was my lip cream. Okay. And then we will go back to our first step for this loop and then decide woo. I try to keep them tight, but if there's a bit, it's okay. Jenny, you're bad at wrapped loops, need to practice. You're not picky. Oh, they've been with you since he was 4 months old. Well, I'm sure that they've been a blessing to you both. Just a little movement. Yeah. Okay. Jenny, I'll tell you the same thing that I try to tell everybody on my channel. I will never be that content creator that's like, my way is the only way. That's not who I am personally, because a lot of my techniques are based on several different ones that I found that I just put together that worked for me. So that's all it is. It's just a matter of figuring out. We all learn different and we all teach differently. So I always encourage people to watch multiple ones, but now that things are, I'm going to go ahead and make the starfish. That was a messy wrap because it is such a significant size that I think a perfect tight little wrap would not, it's just not the look I would do for those. Okay. So here we are. We're back to, are we going to add leather or a chain? I think I'm going to add leather because I don't need a lot of it. Yeah, they can have a little bit of movement. Yeah. All right, cool. My daughter and I video chat almost every day. And it's gotten to the point that Selena expects that I'm on the phone when her mom makes a phone call. And also that if there is a phone call, there's a video chat that she wants to get. And my favorite picture at the moment right now is almost all pink, but it's because she like put the phone up to her mouth and went, ah, like, which is cute. And so you can't see much of anything. It's just like a pink. You see the very like top of her cupid's bow, like the middle of her top lip. And then that's it. That's all you see. All right. I'm going to do some brown leather because I love brown with pink and gold and everything else. I will just do, like I said, I don't need much length. I'll pull. So, how do I want to do this? Along the back. I'll probably make it adjustable using some silicone O beads. Grab out one of my barrel tubes. Sorry, you're not going to be able to see this if this is something you struggle with, but okay. Heather, you need to actually cut this. I'm probably going to cut about 8 inches or so I can make 6, maybe 10 inches because I've got to make the loop on both sides, and then I have to do the same on the back as well so that it fits. So I have my barrel tube. I need to figure out where I got these ones because they're my favorite. I do better with the straight tubes rather than the curved tubes. Come on. Thank you. Okay. Now, because I'm going to cut this off, I know that I don't need very much right here. So I'm going to try to give myself as much room as possible for the back of the necklace. So I'm just going to put both sides with the barrel knot in the middle. You're going to twist up under and around. You're going to go around once, twice, and you can do 2 or 3 times. I'm going to do 3 this time. 3 times towards your left hand, not the other way. You're then going to put your leather down in through the tube. Hold on to your knot as you pull the piece of leather out, and then you're just going to tighten it to your liking. And see, I have very little waste there, but I'll wait to cut that off until I glue it. Although with my glue issue yesterday, I may have either my son or my hubby glue it for me so that I don't give myself more to deal with. Well, in case you don't know, I'm allergic to adhesive. That's why. Something Rosanna and I have in common. Okay, get the loop matching the other side. And when I say that I tighten it, I am tightening it, but not so much that it's stressing the leather, because it will just lead to breakage earlier than, and nobody wants that because then you have to repair it, all that. So I'm going to go ahead and use 3 black silicone O beads. in order to make it adjustable. You know what? No, I'm not. I have pink. I'm going to use pink. I never get to use it. And my light pink matches perfectly with the opalite. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I'm working with pink, and I'm going to use those others that they're done. If I can keep them together. Because, like I just said, I don't get to use my color. Yeah, exactly, Dorothy. We always hear that. The Lionel Richie song, or at least I do. So I'm going to slide all three onto one side of the leather, and then very carefully I'm going to insert my pliers into the first one. Actually, I should go this way. Move those out of my way. Push the leather through the first one. I only like to do this once. So if for some reason I'd have to stretch these again, I replace it. They're very inexpensive, and I just try to be very careful so that they last for my customers. Because once they're on, there's not an issue. They stay on there very, very well. There's not an issue at all. Okay. I'm going to do a little overhand knot on either side of the silicone tubes, getting it down to the very tippy end so as not to use too much of the length. And then what I like to do, although GS Hypo does dry clear, it can also tend to dry a little shiny. So what I prefer to do is sorry about that. I like to actually put the little thin nozzle down inside of my knots. That way, you don't see the glue, and I feel like it makes a tighter knot than if you just knot the ends. But that's just my opinion. You can do whichever you like. All right, ladies, we're at an hour. I think that I will likely finish this once my camera issues have been resolved, but it does. This song does help you, although you can do it with a double wrap, and I'm fond of a double wrap in different spots. Like if I'm doing a stack of knots with beads, then I prefer to do the triple wrap for the first knot, and then do the double wrap between each of the beads so that it's not taking up as much space and or leather. Okay, let me put this back on before I go into solo mode. Okay, there we go. There we go. So I'm really happy to get this one done. I'm very happy that I get to use my pink, because the silicone, they came in a mixed bag. So there's this pink, and then like a darker fluorescent pink. There is a like bright blue, and then a baby blue. There's clear, and then there's black. So I probably won't buy a combined box anymore now that I know that I mostly use the black. But I'm going to make a matching bracelet and some matching earrings. And then I have a couple other pieces I want to make with this box. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and sticking with me, even though we have the whole camera issue, but I appreciate you guys all showing up for staying in with me until the end. I look forward to seeing you guys again. And until then, everybody, happy beading.